I got stuff for you.
Holy moly. I need to get some snakes and release them around my house.
But they love eating people. They love eating kids.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
Every day that you open your mouth,
I know, right?
I'm more convinced that you're abducted by aliens.
No.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
These are idiots.
I was laughing reading this because I already knew how you would feel.
Idiot. What part of the story fits your balloon?
Well,
This isn't a UFO. But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh, yeah, Mothman.
Well, everyone, I think we know exactly what it is. So say it all with me. It was the sandhill crane.
Would you try it?
No.
You wouldn't eat it?
No.
Why?
Because they're probably toxic. There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree. Hello, and welcome back to Cryptids of the Corn podcast. I am the great and powerful Mystery.
And I'm Jay Clone, 25.
How are you doing today?
I am fantastic.
Are you?
Yes, I'm full of life.
Are you ready for the El Cuero?
El Cuero. Oh,
Mhm.
maybe. I don't know. Sounds Spanish.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The L should be a...
Was a giveaway.
Should be. So this episode, we're going to talk about a monster that I've had on the list forever.
Okay.
And there's just not a lot out there.
For El Cuero.
Yeah. But it's really cool, and I think I know what it may be.
Ooh.
But as far as the actual attacks or sightings or any of that stuff, besides what's on like the Cryptid Wiki and a couple, it's all the same like 4 things just spread across all the sites that talk about it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if it's real as in people claim they have seen it.
So it's there's not a whole lot to it, but it is a known thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we get rocking and rolling into that, we got a couple shout outs.
All right.
First one is thank you, Library Under Attack Publications. Sent us a whole bunch of books. Very cool books.
Some awesome books that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
You know, I think we might want to bump one of these books down to the DW guys too. I think
they both are heading that way.
Yeah, I think they both really right down their alley. That's the DW Conspiracy Shack.
But yeah, so Library Under Attack Publications. Check them out. LibraryUnderAttack.com. Also, we got 2 amazing things. Yeah, so you want to go ahead and shout them out?
Yeah. Well, it's big thank you to Lisa for sending us 2, I guess, almost new additions to our table whenever we go.
Yeah.
We're going to...
One is 100% the new mascot.
Yes.
It is going to every festival, every event with us.
I'm going to read this, and she sent us a nice letter along with them.
Right?
Yeah, Lisa.
Okay.
I'm going to read just the last little paragraph of this letter. It was nice. The whole letter's nice. I'm just going to read the end of it, though. She said, I made the squonk for Emily and the unicorn after Jay mentioned it in one of the episodes. I don't specifically remember. I do remember talking
about it.
Yes, I don't remember which episode. So she made a crocheted squonk that's just awesome. And then she made this unicorn, emphasis on the corn.
Corn is a corn.
Cob.
It's a corn cob.
The unicorn's horn is a corn cob. And she said, I'm going to read the rest here. She said, you both mentioned that you like to fish, so I made the colors of the mane and tail with the colors of the ocean waves, depending on the ocean's mood.
They're really pretty.
I thought you could put it in your studio. Well, thank you again.
It is going 100% into the studio. It's sitting right in front of us right now on the table.
It's very nice.
And it's going everywhere with us.
Yes, this will be everywhere.
And it's even got a little spot in a tour bus. It'll live up in the top.
Oh, perfect.
We'll make a little habitat for it.
Oh, that'll work out great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. It's so awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. So if anyone comes to see us at a live show,
you'll see it.
So the next one is June 14th
Yeah.
in Ada. at the Norita Lane's Bowling Alley.
Tickets are below.
Tickets are in the link below with famous author, homeowner, handsome swimmer.
You took my
Your line?
yeah.
Okay. A swimmer, and he's also,
I don't know.
I'm giving you a chance to say
Well,
it.
I already said You said handsome
Well,
already.
I'm letting you say it now.
Okay, you go ahead. Finish.
A homeowner, famous author,
Hurry
great
it up.
swimmer, and
Just do it.
wait, do it.
No, hurry up. I'm going to read.
Oh, okay. Handsome author.
He's very handsome. Get your tickets below if you want to come out. Also, if you want to join Patreon, we got tons of extra content. We meet twice a month. We do movie reviews, game nights, give away a ton of free stuff on the Patreon. It's a lot of fun. If you guys think about joining it, it's the best way to support the show.
Yes.
Besides sharing the show is the best way to support the show. And then if you like
Share, subscribe,
take
hit
us a
that
couple
like button,
bucks and hang out, that's what it's for.
ding the bells.
All right,
You know,
El Cuero, you ready?
El Cuero. Okay. Oh yeah.
So
we're
I discovered this
jumping right into it.
probably 3 years ago. It's been floating in the list on the drive forever. And I just can't find anything real and substantial to it.
Okay.
So if anybody Googles El Cuero, and it's ELCUERO.
Oh, Cuero. Okay.
Yeah. That's the best way I could pronounce it, Cuero.
I think you're right.
But I don't speak that language, so
Cuero.
it could be a little off, one way
Yeah.
or the other, just like English, we have a bunch of things that aren't pronounced how they're spelled.
Exactly.
So it's an extremely dangerous South American lake monster, having a hairless head and spines, with a body with the appearance, now this is really interesting, of a cowhide that has been splayed out to dry.
Okay.
So its body is very, very reminiscent of a cat, like a tanning hide.
Yeah.
And its coloration is kind of similar to that. It's very interesting. Large, flat thing. Teeth and stuff are underneath. The eyes are on top of the body.
Wow. Okay. I'm getting a very weird picture in my head.
The artist's pictures of this are very weird. Imagine a living carpet.
What I'm thinking of, actually, the first thing that pops in my mind, I feel like you're going to hate me for this. At the end of the movie Nope, when it's doing like threat display.
Oh, yeah. So that's at least the artist's pictures. It's not exactly what it looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, I get that.
It's kind of what I'm picturing without the eyes.
You know what a cowhide looks like drying?
Sure.
On a drying rack?
When they have it stretched out, or yeah.
So imagine just two sets of eyes on the top of that, or multiple sets of eyes on the top of that.
Mm.
And then the teeth are on the bottom of it, and it just crawls around like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like like a rug.
Sure.
Like
okay.
a living rug.
It's standing on its end.
No, it's flat on the ground.
Oh, it's flat completely.
Yeah, like a rug.
Oh.
Eyes are on the top part.
Okay.
Mouth and the teeth are on the bottom part, but
Gotcha.
it has teeth just kind of everywhere on the bottom.
Ugh. Yeah.
So we'll get more into the depiction. It roughly translates to the hide or the leather, resembling a primitive stingray the most.
Okay.
So kind of some stingray stuff, some others, not. It has wide pectoral fins with long whipping tail, although an obvious barb is absent.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, this is from South America. There are the world's largest stingrays are found in the, in the Amazon.
Right.
Plus there's some, that may be a little bigger in Asia, but some of the largest stingrays, freshwater stingrays in the world are in the Amazon.
Okay.
And they kill people. They are highly venomous. They're highly trained with that barb, and they will just spear you.
I mean, that's what got Steve Irwin, right?
Yeah, that was an ocean stingray. But
Ocean
yes.
one, okay. Still, but if it got him, it's
River
they're
Monsters
deadly.
talked about it, where normally the barb will pull out or it'll break off inside,
Ooh.
the threat.
Yeah.
A kid got stuck on the barb, and they seen him being dragged through the water in the Amazon.
Oh gosh.
Like it just never came out.
Yeah.
Because they have hooks on him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's supposed to just shred and to help, because their venom kind of just leaks over their spine, their barb.
Gotcha.
It's not like a bee where it's hollow and they inject it.
Right.
They just kind of have a gland on the base of the barb that just leaks it over.
Mm.
If you watch the River Monsters episode with it, he actually scrapes some off of it.
Yeah.
It's like black goo.
I've seen that episode. Yeah.
So whip tail, but no obvious barb. So it has a tail like a stingray, but no obvious barb. Its eyes are on stalks, and its eyes are on stalks, and its mouth is permanently extendable. So it's like the parent bottom feeder. So like a stingray, where it can have the mouth that shoots out, or a sturgeon
Mhm.
where the mouth shoots out, teeth everywhere, and the underside has some just teeth on it or hooks.
Okay.
Not just in the mouth, but it has multiple sets of eyes on stalks, like a snail or a slug.
Yeah,
on
it's
top.
weird. Very weird.
Okay. Eyewitnesses also reported a series of like the razor sharp claws along the fringes of El Cuero, which make the creature use to secure its prey, or if it encapsulates prey to help hold it to the bottom to smother prey. So it's like a blanket that shoots up over you and literally just holds you down till you die.
It sounds terrifying.
Yeah. There have also been suggestions that El Cuero uses hunting knives taken from its previous prey as weapons against its victim, saying that maybe it's collecting trophies. The size of El Cuero ranges from anywhere from 2 to 5 feet across and approximately 65 pounds. Although El Cuero may be distinctly related to some kind of family of freshwater stingray, which inhabit South America, there are a few notable differences than any of the South American stingrays and El Cuero. Yeah, so far, what do you think? This big carpet, I guess 2 to 5 feet, but some people's depictions of this thing are like 20 feet wide.
Wow.
Sometimes it'll have plants growing on its back, and it's literally like a slothing island. It'll just jump and like try to smother you into the mud.
Oh, I don't know, a turtle, or I don't know.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, what do you think of this thing?
Very weird, and like something I don't want to come across.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught in my fishing line.
A lot of the depictions are like that 2 to 5 feet across, so that's wide.
Yeah.
Some of them are huge. Some of the people that have had encounters say that they're absolutely massive. Apparently, it hunts in a Chilean glacial lake, Lake Lesker, located in the Andes Mountains.
Okay.
The Andes have all kinds of weird wildlife.
Stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So human attacks. There have been several human attacks reported. Some some South American natives tell stories of El Cuero as a vicious predator, giving the nickname the aquatic tiger or / panther. They don't have tigers in South America. So when,
Panther's the next best. Yes.
The monster apparently surges out of the lake like a crocodile, overwhelming its prey, mostly humans, which it uses its proboscis to puncture holes in the skin, sucking out the internal organs and all the bodily fluids.
Okay.
So as it's holding you down, wrapping you up, and like pinning you to the bottom of the mud, it's drinking you.
Yeah, that's very odd.
There have been countless yet controversial attacks on humans. One story tells of a young woman washing clothes by the lakeside as her baby slept nearby. According to her, the creature burst out of the water like a crocodile and engulfed the baby whole. And it slipped away into the water as quickly as it appeared.
And you think you know what this thing is?
Maybe.
Okay.
I have ideas.
Okay.
Similar creatures to El Cuero have been reported to dwell in the rivers and lagoons of both Argentina and Chile. So it's not just El Cuero from the Andes Mountains in this one glacial lake. There seems to be a similar phenomena across the board.
Hmm.
The legend of Cuero has circulated throughout the indigenous populations of these two major nations. Some investigators have pointed to the similarities between this animal and the vicious, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Huki, which is another South American lake monster. The reports are so similar, experts pretty much consider it the same animal. The way it's described, it's. I doubt two people came up with this thing separately.
Yeah, right.
Without seeing something.
That was bridging the gap. Yeah.
South American mothers warn their children to stay away from the lakeside, fearing the Huki will eat them.
The Huki. I like that name. That sounds
you?
like someone like a nickname for somebody around here. Well, watch out for old Huki.
Huki. And I have several thoughts, and other people have had the same thoughts, so none of these are extremely independent.
Okay.
Because people have been looking. This is one of those things that people have been looking into forever, and there's just not a lot there, and it upsets me.
They never got, there's not more to the story other than basically what you've just read.
Yeah. It's like the same 4 encounters that have been spread around forever, or that they encounter El Cuero, or they encounter the Huki. People say it just, it's a big flat stingray-like, but not a stingray. Keep in mind, these people have, stingrays. They have stingrays.
So they know what they are.
It's not like they're living, we're talking about desert people that are claiming to see a stingray.
Right.
They have giant stingrays that live in the river that kill people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they should know what a stingray is. So they know this is something similar, different. But I just can't believe nothing is popping to my head. What?
Really?
Like an actual animal?
Well, yeah, or similar animals.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought of with the eyes and stuff you were saying,
yeah, go ahead,
made me think of like conch snails or things like that. But overall, I mean, some kind of sea slug, some kind of carnivorous sea slug.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's my big one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I can even remote, like a sea dragon.
Yeah.
Or what are they called?
You're thinking of a blue sea dragon.
Yeah, blue sea dragon.
Which are nudibranchs. Or they're not nudibranchs, but I'm talking about nudibranchs, which are like sea slugs.
Okay.
Like this, we've talked about the sea hare on the show. It's what that was the Florida sea monster that washed up that had human eyes.
Yeah.
On the big long stalks. That was probably a giant sea hare, which they get like 10, 12 pounds. They're huge.
Okay.
They're normally not predators. There are several sea slugs that are predators. One of the things is this may be some kind of hunting mollusk that may have, taken the adaptation role of a crocodilian. Because many animals have held that niche. It's not just crocodilians. Everything from like aquatic wolves to salamanders.
Aquatic wolves?
Yeah.
Like actual wolves?
No, an animal kind of relatively similar to a canid.
Okay.
That, like kind of like a giant otter.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Colossal will bring them back for sure. Aquatic wolves.
Yeah.
Probably next week.
Probably.
They'll make that announcement.
No, so that's one thought, is that it's some kind of giant mollusk. The eyes kind of fit. Now, some mollusks actually they don't have bones or anything like that, but they can have modified, kind of like teeth. That's the best way to explain it for everybody, especially around the edges. So that mouth, it's like kind of the mouth they have too.
Yeah.
So there's always a chance that this is some kind of giant mollusk, like a cousin of a slug. And then some of them did get very large.
Would have never imagined that, though. You just don't think of, like, I don't know, snails behaving that way.
Well, on Freaky Fauna, we talked about sea angels.
Yeah.
Which are not snails, but they're, a close cousin. And while they look gorgeous, they are active predators and they are blind. And they shoot out the giant tentacles out of their mouth to eat sea butterflies, which are snails.
Yes.
So there's always a thought that maybe it's some kind of just monster like that, like just very rare, mountains. So they're high enough in the mountains, perhaps, that there are no crocodilians. When we talk about like the Chinese Alps giant salamander, the other giant salamanders of the world, they kind of fill that similar niche as crocodilians.
Right.
But they start where the crocodilians stop. So they kind of take over. Like we talked about the Canadian alligators, probably the same species as the Chinese Alps giant salamander.
The two can't coexist in the same role in the same place.
I think it's more water temperature based. The salamanders generally prefer cooler stuff, and the crocodilians generally prefer warmer stuff. So it may not even be a direct competition. It may just be that where one's preferable habitat stops is where the other one starts.
And they just both fill the same niche for the areas. Yeah.
Like Coolosuchus was around during the giant salamanders were around from the beginning all the way through the time of the dinosaurs. They survived several mass extinctions. I think there could be other things like that, that are hiding, ancient relics that are hiding out. And these are the kind of places you'd find these. So maybe it is some giant predatory slug.
That's so weird to think about.
Even, so there's leeches that are completely land-based, that are highly predatory.
Okay.
That actually chase down prey and like wrestle prey.
Okay.
But, we've talked about velvet worms and all kinds of stuff that are very odd, that are active predators. And a lot of times, like, a lot of people are describing it as only 2 foot wide, which the giant sea hare gets that big. But they're herbivores, right? So they're not generally doing that
Carnivorous.
kind of stuff.
How many of them are, like, fresh water?
There are handfuls of them. None of the giants, as far as my knowledge goes. But there are handfuls, yes. There are freshwater slugs, especially snails. There are tons of freshwater mollusks.
What if it's a homunculus someone made?
There you go. That's actually my next one on the list.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
No, so that is one. That's one I could see. Of any place you're going to find a giant predatory fast slug, it may be the Andes Mountains.
Like a remote Amazon mountain top. Yeah.
Next one is kind of a twofer. Stingrays. They talk about it being distinctly different from stingrays. So one side of it, these are nothing more than freshwater stingrays that parents are using like a hyperbole to scare kids away from dangerous water.
Okay.
Because like we talked about with the alligators, right?
Yep.
If you just tell your kid there's an alligator down there, that's an animal they see. Even though an alligator can be dangerous to a child, the child never registers that. So you make it a big, scary monster.
El Cuero.
Yeah. El Cuero, it's like a stingray.
Yeah.
But it's got teeth and it jumps out of the water and, all these crazy eyes everywhere.
So the game of telephone over the years.
That and just like we talk about it with all these, some folklore just the monster side of it, comes from that.
The snallygoster.
The snallygoster. So what do you think of that? That it could just be a stingray that parents were using as a monster to keep kids away from dangerous bodies of water.
Yeah, I mean, it might not even be a stingray necessarily.
No, but that's just,
it's just
some of the pictures really look like a stingray.
Let's just say even the whole thing is a folklore like creation just to warn of the dangers of the water for kids. It could be completely made up in that regard, which I could totally see being what has happened or something similar like that. Yeah. I'm all for that idea, just because throughout many of the stories we've covered, that's just a normal kind of thing. That folklore is warning. It's just a warning sign in general. And then sometimes those stories take on a life of their own, or other people catch wind of them and not fully aware of their origin being a story, or just where it came out of a creation, not actually being real. So I could see that happening.
The other side of that is that maybe it is a cousin, like it is a stingray, but it may be a more monstrous stingray.
Yeah.
Maybe more of an active predator. Stingrays do slide on land every once in a while to eat food.
Okay.
And by the way, so do nudibranchs, sea slugs. Some predatory sea slugs in tidal pools will come out of the water to hunt like little crustaceans and stuff on land.
Oh, okay.
And they, as far as their size, they do it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They chase down prey. But we're talking about animals that, the whole fight can fit in the palm of your hand.
Right, yeah.
So there is that. But stingrays, especially in areas where they're fed by humans, will slide up and slap on out of the water to be fed.
That'd be pretty cool to see.
So what if this is a specialized Amazonian or Argentinian or Chilean stingray, species? Maybe it does have modified scales on the edge that look like teeth to grip and maybe slide through the mud better.
Pull, yeah.
We talk about so electric eels, for example. Why they are air breathers, and why their whole guts are just like engines behind their head. The rest of their body is just the electrical producing organ. They're completely designed to just survive by being a little bit moist. Like there'll be hundreds of electric eels in mud puddles.
Yeah.
When the Amazon, the dry season.
Yeah.
In places they get stranded. Stingrays are kind of fall into that category too. So maybe that there's a specialized stingray that has these kind of adaptations to help it pull itself in mud. Help it get out of, drying up puddles.
It's definitely okay. If this is a real one, it would have to have been isolated for so long.
I mean, we're talking about an area that's very little studied.
Right, yeah.
And stingrays take on various shapes and forms, especially in this area.
That's what I'm saying. It's had to have been here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's been stingrays in the Amazon forever.
Look this crazy and different. I don't know.
And like I said, we said it already in the episode. I think there could be some of that modification with storytelling.
Exaggeration.
Yeah.
Fisherman tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it did bite somebody, or it stung somebody, or, somebody got grabbed and on the water's edge.
Yeah.
And that turns into a monster that flies out of the water to grab you, and he sucks
Cuero.
down a baby.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah, that's the weirdest part. It's like a mosquito holding you down and eating you dry.
Yeah. All right. You have any more thoughts? I got one more.
Yeah. No, let's hear the last one.
There's a chance that this is a mata turtle.
A mata? Oh, like a... I know what you're talking about. Those are the ones that have all the crazy shell. They look like leaves, like a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
They get kind of big. I'll pull up the exact size.
What are their eyes like?
You hardly can see them.
Okay.
But the eyes, let's say it is a rogue mata turtle.
Okay.
They can shoot out of the water to grab prey. So they have like the long necks that shoot and grab prey.
Oh, they very long necks. I'm looking them up right now. Oh, they're weird.
Yeah, they look like a big pile of leaves or anything like that.
Yep.
So what if it's a mata turtle? And I'm trying to find the world record size of them. They're extremely rare. They're the rarest turtle in South America.
Wow.
So they're listed as least concerned right now, I believe. But it's because I think it just where they live, the Amazonian mata is just really hard to find. I'm trying to find a size on them.
Yeah.
Like a maximum size.
Okay.
But they kind of have a stingray shape. They look like a big pile of leaves. Their skin, they're flat. They're huge and flat.
Yeah.
And
Their heads are really wide and
so
flat.
what if the extra eyes were all the skin flaps they have?
Okay.
It was talking about these eyes and teeth everywhere, the claws.
Yeah.
And a Matamata had just grabbed somebody one time or, a couple times. And all you see is this big flat piece of skin shooting out of the water really fast and grabbing you.
And they have moss growing on their backs in some of these pictures.
Oh, no, they look like islands. And I'm trying to find the size of them. So 38 pounds and 3 foot long pretty much is the biggest in captivity right now.
3 foot long?
Yeah, because they're big and flat turtles.
Wow.
So not like tortoises, big tall things.
Right, yeah, bulky.
But some people think they get much larger than that. Like I'm hearing some of these are saying, 80 pounds. There's, shells of what they believe are 80-pound individuals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, big enough to definitely grab a kid.
I can't believe they're in the least concerned category. I looked it up. They are. But being, that rare and stuff, that's kind of, wonder if they just don't know.
Well, they're very camouflaged.
Yeah.
And where they live is very hard to get to by like Western science.
Right. So yeah, they might not even know the whole numbers.
Mhm.
Just assuming they're fine.
So what if this is just a Matamata turtle that bit somebody? Or if they get big enough, what if a Matamata turtle ate somebody?
Yeah, if they have those behaviors, yeah. That'd be wild.
But like the neck shoots out to grab
Yeah,
prey.
yeah, which I seen that on there like far. Like it has a really long, it looks like a
As
long-necked
long
turtle.
as the body.
Yeah.
They shoot out as long as the body.
Are they called long-necked turtles or snakehead turtles? What are
That's
those?
a different species.
Right, yeah. But those have, I don't know if anyone's ever
Side
seen.
neck turtles.
Side neck turtles?
Yeah.
Okay. If anyone's ever seen them at home, they look like a mini like brontosaurus neck.
Yeah, yeah. So Emily had one for a long time.
Oh, she did? Okay.
A pink, African pink side neck.
Well, I seen them at the zoo one time. I forget where we were, or like in a big aquarium zoo. But they had a pair of them in this big aquarium tank. I mean, they were big for, I think they get, I don't know how big they get, but they were like size of basketballs, like their shells. So their neck's coming out. I mean, it looked like a foot long neck.
Normally, like it's as long as their shell.
Yeah.
But side necks, like that's why they're called side necks, is because they have to store some of their neck on the side.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they're that long.
When they come back in, yeah.
So yeah,
wild.
what if this is a big Matamata? We don't know a lot about.
With being flat, I mean, I could see that. The only thing that throws it off a little bit would be the eyes, or maybe the way it moved around, but it's hard telling underwater.
Matamata move extremely slow.
Yeah.
And then they just shoot out. They're ambush predators.
So, I mean, it fits some of
the bigger descriptions of El Cuero was that it was like an island. Like it had plants and stuff on its back, and then it shot out and grabbed. It could just be a big Matamata
shell.
And I'm not even saying they killed anybody, but if you just see this thing fly at you and bite you and it hurts,
yeah,
and then you get away, El Cuero just attacked you.
All right. Oh.
So what do you think of that?
This could explain some of the sightings.
And then my last one is just a possessed cow skin.
Oh, yes. Now, I've seen videos. You can't believe anything on the internet. But there was this one that was really weird. And it looked like a shadow, like moving across the ground and went into the water.
It was El Cuero.
And have you seen that video?
No. It's probably the AI polar bear video again.
No, this was old. This was an old one I seen before we ever started doing this show.
Oh, okay.
But it looked like a shadow, the video looked real because when it went into the water rippled away. So it'd be a really weird effect to just do that. Because it did. It was like a shadow. I want to say it slithered away, but it wasn't like snake shaped at all. It was like a blobby kind of thing. But it was just right on the ground. It literally looked like a moving shadow because that's the only best way I can describe it because it was so close to the ground. And when it went into the water, you seen it like spread out a little bit and was gone, swam away. But really weird.
Yeah.
Really, really weird. So that's possessed cow skin. Okay. Yeah, I've seen something like that on.
No, so yeah, that's always the thing is that the spiritual aspect in South America.
Yeah.
There is plenty of weird spiritual, or I don't even know how to say it, monsters like that.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are real. I think there is scary stuff in the jungle.
Yokai.
And this isn't exactly in the jungle. We're talking about the Andes Mountains.
Yeah.
Which is still a remote and fascinating place.
Oh, yeah. Is it yokai in Japan? They're called the possessed objects?
Yokai is like a big general term.
Okay.
Like a group. It's the group of things.
Okay.
Yes, some of the yokai are the possessed objects.
Yes.
but I believe your kappa falls under yokai as well.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of like a general term, like paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of
Gotcha.
means not exactly. I'm watering it
Right,
down
right.
dramatically, but kind of just it's like a catch-all term for weird paranormal entity.
Okay. Well, there you go. South
Yeah.
American yokai.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I kind of always lean towards if it's real and it's not a known animal, giant slug. If it's
Or mollusk.
Huh?
Or mollusk.
yeah, any of the mollusks,
Right.
any like big like a nudibranch
Something.
or something like that.
Yeah.
What?
It's just, anything. Like, a nudibranch, something like that. It's
Yeah, it's
just,
a sea slug. A sea slug's family, but there are freshwater nudibranchs, but
it's just funny, normal conversation.
it is normal conversation. If it's a known animal that either has been monstrified or personified into a villain, mata is a good good thing. Or
Yeah.
stingray. There are giant stingrays in the Amazon. They do kill people. They are dangerous.
But I think the mata fits a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean it could be any of it,
And just
or
a
it could just
stingray.
be fully made up.
Or it could just be that.
Be a part of folklore that
a warning.
grabbed onto something and
Yeah.
and
Just a warning
people-
that water's dangerous.
yeah, especially yeah.
In this area.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it. I've been the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I've been JClone25.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast. Remember, the best way to support the show is share it with a friend. But if you are craving more of the J clones
And more from Mr. E.
there's always extra content on Patreon.
And our paid member space on cryptidsofthecorn.com.
We'll catch you next time with more exciting, fun, and informative information.